Hi friends, this is Julie Tillman from Poetic Artistry, and today I'm going to be sharing a little mixed media play with Distress Oxide sprays and Sweet and Sassy stamps. The product links are in the description box below, so if you want to know that information, please check it out. And let's get started. First, I'm going to be spritzing my watercolor paper with just water so that it's wet. And then I'm spraying on first picked raspberry and then wilted violet Distress Oxide spray. And I'm going to spritz it some more and then just let the colors kind of flow together. And I've gotten this very, very saturated with ink and water, so you probably don't need that much. When I heat set this, my cat decided to attack the heat gun, and so I ended up with a water line down the middle. So I'm trying to fix that with some smooshing on plastic wrap. So now that that's dry, I am pulling out the Texture Tiles 3 stamp set, and I'm not using a block so that I don't get a full impression. I just kind of want a hint of that. I think it's a bubble wrap texture, and I'm using Catherine Pooler archival ink there. And now I'm going in with Flirty Fuchsia and another one of the Distress Tile stamps there, and just adding a little more texture. And now I'm going to brighten up the design with some white gesso and a stencil from, I believe it's from Crafter's Warehouse. And first I'm going to tap off, I'm taking a mini ink blending tool and I'm tapping off some of the paint so I don't have too much on my stencil. You want to keep your media not just sparse when you're using a stencil so that it doesn't bleed through and give you those blurry lines. And so I'm randomly just adding this across the page to kind of give a cohesive feel to the page and kind of even out the different stamping areas and brighten up the page with the white. So I got a little extra there, so I just wiped it off with a baby wipe, and now I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches to put on some card fronts. So I have enough for 2 card fronts and then some excess for stamping and cutting, and then a little bit extra for another project. And now I'm going to darken up the edges here with Distress Oxide Black Soot ink, and I just go in circular motions with my blending tool around each of the edges, and then to add a little more darkness I flick the edges all around it. So I do that on both panels, and I'm going to apologize right now because I don't know what happened to the footage of me actually stamping the dragonfly images on this paper, but it's not there anymore, so I'm sorry about that. But I did stamp the dragonflies. It's the Dragonfly Dream set from Sweet and Sassy Stamps, and the wings and the bodies are separate stamps. And so I stamped the wings separately on some of those excess pieces of paper I had, and I'm just fussy cutting those out real quick, and then darkening up the edges with a little bit of Distress Oxide and a black marker, and then kind of shaping the wings a little bit with my fingers so they kind of curl more realistically. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, I decided that I wanted the bodies to pop up as well so that the wings, it wasn't so apparent that the wings were just separate. So I did the same thing there. And on this one, I decided not to cut the center part, not to cut the 2 wings into separate things, but to leave them together. And I think that made it a little bit easier, both for cutting and for manipulating them. So I'm popping the wings themselves up on, I'm gluing the little inner portion and then adding a little pop dot or foam tape to the outer section so that they pop a little bit. And I'm offsetting them just a little hint because I kind of like that look It kind of looks like the wings are fluttering a little bit. So I'm just shaping up those wings a little bit more, and then we're going to move on to the sentiments. And this is the Sentimental mashup set. It's the stamp of the month for February from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. And I just love these bold sentiments. So I am going to be stamping them. Usually I would use a Misty, but I already put my my pieces on, and so I'm being bold with my Catherine Pooler ink. I absolutely love this ink. I'm just totally obsessed with it right now. So anyways, I always get a great impression, and I'm just playing with where I want that. We're gonna have a Just Because card. And then for the other one, I'm going to stamp Birthday Blessings. So just inking that up and stamping down. And these sentiments are just, it's so much fun to just kind of play and build what you want. And I just wanted to fiddle with these wings just a little bit more, make sure they're perfect and on there. And then I'm going to go in with a Wink of Stella clear glitter pen. And it looks really bright here, but it's just shiny and shimmery. So then I'm adding those to a A2 card base with my ATG gun. And we have 2 finished mixed media cards. I thank you so much for stopping by today. I really enjoyed playing with these Distress Oxide sprays. It was my first time playing with them, so I thought this was a very fun technique. And if you're interested in the products, they are in the description box below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and leave me a comment. I love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.